Hello everyone and welcome back to Dyson Sphere, Rise of the Dark Fog. And in the last episode, we were able to get some of our purple science, and that's going to allow us to do some more research to get some other things. So in this episode, I kind of plan on doing a few things planetary defense-wise, and as well as doing some proliferation. I still think that sounds like a dirty word. What kind of things do you think science-wise? Well, this planetary defense caught my eye. It only takes blue and red science, and it gives us these planetary shield generators. And they take some of the basic supplies that we already have made up for the last things we were doing. It also gives us some of these laser turrets, but it requires those purple, pinky triangle thingies. I don't even know what those are. But we haven't made any of those yet, so I'm not really too interested in the laser turrets, as it does seem like our missiles are OP. But now with our deuterium fuel rods and our, awesome new power source that we have here, I want to get into the proliferation. I think that it's going to help us out in the long run, because if I understand the proliferation right, it means that we're going to get more product, and who doesn't need more deuterium? If you look inside an assembler, it has a proliferator effect, and that just means that you're going to get either extra products or a production speed up. So whichever one you decide that you want. Well, I gotta be honest, if we're gonna get extra products out of something like deuterium and these golden processors, that's what I want, so I don't have to, make so many. Ain't that right, Icarus? We don't want so many. So the spot I'm thinking of making it is right here. I want to try to just kind of put it here at the top of the world. We don't need a lot of it. I kind of imagine it makes a ton of stuff, and I believe for one of them we need coal and another one we need diamonds, but I'm not sure. We'll have to look up the recipes. So for the proliferator juice of the first one, we need coal. Straight up, turns it in. No problem. Proliferators Mark 1. Man, that's a tough one to say. So for proliferators Mark 2, we need diamond, which means even more coal, and the proliferators Mark 1. Not too bad, easy peasy. And I'm sure for the next proliferators, we need Mark 2s plus more coal product. I don't even know what the next one would be. Probably graphene. I don't know. But anyways, it shouldn't be too difficult to set up right here. We do have a coal vein if we want to pull from here, but I know that we have some in the bus. And there's also some right here. So if I wanted to do away with all this and just turn it into proliferator juice, I probably could. Proliferator Mark 1 only needs a single product, but we'll just go ahead and use our 2 product blueprint right here. And the reason is, we just won't use one of the lines. But then as we need the second one, we'll just pop this guy right here, and it nestles in quite nicely there. So that's it. And we'll just eliminate one of these lines. I don't know, like this middle one. Done. It's over. The next thing we need is some diamonds. So diamonds will be a smelter blueprint, right? We've got that. And we'll just smack this smelter right there. Oh, we can't do it because we still have these here. So we'll just smack this sucker right there. Bam, it's done. And that'll be our diamond production. And then we can bring those diamonds in and around, or we can do it logistics style. Whatever, who cares? On this tower, we're definitely gonna need the coal, and we're gonna probably just regulate it down to, I don't know, 12 or 1500 sounds like a good thing. And we'll have it demanded. We'll go ahead and give it its towers, and it's done. And besides, it's right here by a power plant. It's got all the power it could ever want. Plus, we can actually bring this proliferator juice around and proliferate the proliferators. Proliferators? Boy, yeah, it's a good time. Okay, diamonds, check. Energetic graphene, check. Proliferators 1, check. Coal, check. So the diamonds will be probably brought over to this tower, and then we have the proliferator juice coming in here as well. So those are the 2 things that we need just to be in here, and we'll just store up a decent supply of it. I don't know, 1500 and storage. There we go. That's perfect. So what we'll do too is we will have the proliferator juice probably come out of here. And this might be something that we do on all of the towers. Maybe have one tower dedicated to bringing the juice out and bringing it across to all the proliferators. It's kind of why we set this up the way that we did. Future-proofing, things that we like to do. So now all we need to do is kind of let the pieces go. We'll just let the proliferators go and start making their juice. It'll come across here. We've got it exiting into this one. We may have to do a few extra edits, you know, to come out here, but yeah, no problem. So then we'll quickly run over here and get the diamonds going, get their energetic graphene going, and that's that. So once the diamonds are going, it will supply over to the other tower. And yeah, I could probably belt this over here and be a lot less lazy, but why would I do that? That just seems silly. But now that we've got just a little bit of surplus in here, let's go ahead and let this stuff out. Now, what does each item take? 2 of the juice and 1 of the diamonds. So you know what that means. Yep, that's right. Diamonds in the middle and the juice on the outside. So that'll make our proliferators Mark II, which will come across here and start using it and spraying it on all of these things, making sure that we get the extra items. So I don't really know exactly how this works per se, but it gives you a little indication here that the double arrow means that it's double sprayed or it's twice as fast. And then you have this extra round inside. Does that mean it produces an extra piece? I mean, that's all I can think of. So when that blue circle goes around, maybe I'm getting an extra one. So here we come around and it does give you 2. So every time that the blue circle goes, it seems as though it gives you an extra product. That is actually really cool. So let's change this to production speed. And as you see, the blue circle stops, but boy, oh boy, that yellow circle goes around so fast that it can't keep up with it. We may need to upgrade these belts to a level 3 belt. I think that would probably be best because we're not getting enough of the juice all the way down either. The same thing kind of goes here. We probably ought to hurry those diamonds along. I don't think it's a good idea to let them kind of be so limited. But with that means that we can go back on our old stuff and start proliferating all of the deuterium and all these other materials that we've had, you know, laying around here getting unproliferated. Who doesn't want to be sprayed with green goo? Right? Right? All right, so I've gone through here and kind of made sure all of these are hooked up, made sure they're all going the same direction so that I can just tell this to demand the proliferation juice and it'll be fine. So I'm heading back down to the beginning of this, bobbing and weaving as we go, to kind of do like I said we were going to do. Kind of come out of here, go up, and boom. And I'm choosing this one particularly because I know that it's not going to have a lot of items going to it. So there's not going to be a lot of demand on this particular tower. You know, we've only need the silicon and then it's holding the crystals. Not a big deal. So all we have to do is request the juice and we'll tell it to, I don't know, hold like 1,000. I don't think it should need that much. Just because it's not very far away and it can get it pretty quickly. So yeah, no problem. And there it goes. Very good. Now it'll take a little bit of time for this to probably, you know, fill up all the containers as it goes down the entire line. So yeah, that shouldn't be too bad though. We can just let that run in the background. So I've been going along just trying to hook up as many of these as I can, but we are kind of running low on the juice. So I think it's about time to upgrade some of this to level 3 things just to get things moving a lot faster. Now we've already done the outside of the Mark II proliferation juice. We did leave ourselves quite a bit of space to expand upwards if we need to, or to do the Mark III if we also need to, but there's still quite a bit of proliferating that I need to do. So my plan is just to kind of finish that up. I have all of the graphene that I need to get done and all of some other things over here that need to get done as well. So yeah, let me just kind of do that in the background and we'll see where we're at. So while we wait for all that to get done, there is something I would like to do. I'd like to go explore our final planet here. I just kind of want to see it. I just want to see what it has in store, what it's got on it, maybe do a little walk around and just see how many dark fog it has on there. It appears to have quite a few actually, and it's making me a little bit nervous. I just want to look at it, just touch down and see what we see. All right, so I think this is probably the safest place to land because it's far enough away from everything else except for that dark fog. We'll run away, run away. So I just want to see what we have on this planet. Like, how badly do we want it? I mean, it's got quite a bit of copper. Oh my goodness. 70 million copper. Not very much iron though. No silicon whatsoever. And some titanium, stone, and a bit of coal. Okay. Well, it's not very plentiful. It's not a bountiful harvest here, but let's see. What do we got for sun? Lots of wind energy and quite a bit of solar. It's not too bad, I guess. Maybe we could start up a small solar farm just to get us going. But when we destroy these things, we will be able to kind of harvest it for thermal energy. And that's not going to be too bad. Maybe we set up a tiny deuterium once we get over here. But I'm not ready to be over here just yet. I think that we have some things that we need to do back on the other planet before we get onto this planet. I think that we need to kind of maybe do some of those energy shields. Yeah, definitely want to get the planetary energy shields. So with that being said, I think we go ahead and we activate this. It shouldn't take too long as it's the blue and red science. I mean, it's not like we don't make enough of that as it is. But the factory that we will need, you know, your boy Addo, he's been thinking ahead for quite some time. Other than the deuterium here, I mean, we really have been overproducing a lot of the things. I mean, how many of these batteries do we actually need? Not really that many, but all of the materials that it takes to make those batteries, yeah, we needed those. That's for sure. And it's on the main bus now. So we have a pretty decent supply of all of those things, as well as it goes with the graphene and the tube graphene. I mean, did I really need to make this many? No, but now it's on the bus. And now I have it in our, I guess, orbital logistics. So the particle broadband, as well as the chips, those are things that we need a lot of as well. And we can always expand on those. So that's kind of been my plan the whole time. These things that are kind of the one-offs, make a lot of them. Why? Just because we'll have a surplus of other materials that we need for our more everyday items, because eventually we'll have to redesign our main area. I mean, so this right here, it's just out of date. I mean, it was a great little bus line and it worked really well, but once we started needing more of one thing to get enough to make the next thing, I mean, this doesn't really work anymore. And we've got these motors now on the main bus, as well as these motors, so it's not like we really kind of need this bus anymore, just to make the main products, such as the assemblers and the belts and power towers, all those sorts of things. We do need those, but there's a better way of doing it. And I think I have an idea of how I want to do it, but it's going to require destroying all of this, as well as destroying all of this. Yeah, we're going to move this whole factory over to where our other stuff is. So I think that's kind of the next thing that I really want to do, is get all of these things that we're currently making over here over on the other side of the world. But one of the first things we need to do is fix the refined fuel problem. We still are not producing enough refined fuel. If we're going to really upscale like I want to, we really need to get all of these guys running, because this is the majority of the fuel that we have being made. And as you can see, it's not kicking on very much. I just reconnected a whole bunch of hydrogen generators over on this side, but burning hydrogen, man, that's just not a good option. And we have all of the lines coming into like one line, so it's not like it's actually working. I mean, look, we've got 4 lines of hydrogen going in here, so we kind of just need to fix that. That's not going to work. Yeah, so the belt shenanigans that's going to have to be used to make all this stuff make fuel again, it just isn't going to work. And we're still just not burning it up fast enough. As you can see, we're still stopping. So this, even with this many generators, it's still not burning enough hydrogen. And I really don't know what to do to burn up the hydrogen. I want to keep it kind of consistent. I want to be using as much fuel as I am hydrogen, but I don't want to be wasting it here anymore. I mean, our deuterium, it seems to be producing just fine. I don't want to burn up all of that fuel anymore. Now, conveniently, we have a tower sitting right here that we could just fill up full of fuel. And if we needed to, we could have 2 towers right next to each other full of fuel as well. So it's kind of one of those things where if we could just get all this over here, I think that it would kind of sort of solve the problems. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to belt all this stuff across and over and into it, just getting it there and where it's supposed to be to help out with the fuel consumption that we currently have. And there we go. It's all getting belted in there, and it's got a 5,000 capacity. It's going to be supply, and as you can see, it's not stacking up. So that's kind of a good thing. That is what we wanted to see. We want it to be going out, but we also want to be producing, and there's a couple lines that still aren't producing. I think some extra power generation is in order. I think that this particular line, and probably this one as well, it really just needs to go somewhere else. Maybe we can do something where we split it off and it goes up to the top and all that kind of jazz, because every one of these generators is on and we're just not burning up enough of it. But I see a nice little spot here that might be able to take a little bit of hydrogen off of our line. So as I was kind of waiting on stuff to stabilize and all that jazz, I kind of went around and picked up all the stuff that I've had laying around. Every time I get my mech full and then I'm like, oh man, I need to get this stuff out of my pocket so that I can pick up this other stuff, I just would put down a storage container and throw the stuff in there. And then, yeah. So this is all of the things that I've just thrown around the map here, and my planet got kind of littered a little bit, so I went through it and picked it all up. We'll get that stuff put away in these boxes up here and, you know, make the planet a little cleaner. Do you like your cleaner planet now, Mr. Icarus? Yeah, I thought so. So now with fuel just kind of fixed and the sulfuric acid coming in pretty heavy, I really think it's time to get rid of all of this. Not necessarily forever. We just want to get rid of the fact that this is here so that we can utilize all of this space to make the things like the towers again. So we just want to reorganize what we currently have, as well as we'll try to go ahead and reorganize the drones themselves for the logistics towers. Not the interstellar ones, even though we will make that in this space, but as well as we want to make all of the logistics towers, and we want to make all of the drones for those logistics towers. And that way they're all made in one central location and I can come and get them as I please. They'll probably be put in a drones to go back to wherever we decide to make our new mega base. But for now, that's what I want to do. Well, what does that mean exactly? Well, it means exactly what it sounds like. We just need to take all this out. It's actually a lot of fun doing this. So yeah, it'll take quite a bit of me just kind of running around cleaning this up, but oh my gosh, that's so much better. There's so much more space for activities. Okay, that's quite a mess. Let me let me clean all this up and let's see how much of each item we've got. Okay, that took forever to clean up. And to give us an idea of how much stuff we actually have, I took everything out of my pockets. So the 11 storage containers is all the Icarus has in his dimensional pocket. And how much stuff did we actually have? Well, yeah, it might have been a lot of stuff on the ground. It took forever. It took forever. All of the towers, all of the engines, all of the interstellar bots, all of the materials to make all of those things, and sulfuric acid for days. Oh my gosh, it's so much stuff. This was what was originally in my pocket. This is all the stuff that was on the ground. Yeah. Okay, that's done. And now that that's done, it's time to move on to the next project. What might that be, you ask? Well, we're basically just gonna recreate all the drones here, then the interstellar logistics drones here, and then I'll probably kind of come over here and do the towers. I'll probably even delete a few of these things just to even this out a bit. I don't like that it sticks out so much farther. I don't know. I think it's just more of an aesthetics thing for me, not necessarily a necessity thing for me. But I'm thinking of having all the logistics towers right here. And then I'll have all of the kind of drone production going on here. And then I'll have the other drone production come up and meet up in the center so that I have all of my towers and all of my drones in this area. And then, you know, if we need to make a few extra things, we can make them in this space. I'm sure there's going to be space left over. So now it's just, what do we need and how much of it do we need to make? Well, we know we need chips and lots of them. So again, because of the blueprints, it makes this really easy. So I'll probably just kind of tuck this away in the corner. We got the first set of chips, the second set of chips, the third set, and so on and so forth. We'll have to do some shenanigans there. And then we'll bring all of this stuff down and into basically what I think, I don't know where exactly it's going to be, but we'll have a line of 10 of these and they'll just be making all of the drones for us. And then these will just be the regular, like, planetary drones. And then we'll do the same thing over here, having them be the interplanetary drones on this side. And then we'll have them just kind of pop into a box, kind of like here. So all the materials of everything will come down and into these lines to go into these two different types of drones. And I think that'll be pretty much it. It's not that hard anymore. I'll be honest, like, we still have to worry about power because I have no idea what the power consumption on something like this is going to be. But to be honest with you, it's with the blueprints, it makes it really easy. And we'll just line it up all down here. I'm sure I'll make a mistake and have to move some things some places, but I don't know. Like, I don't think it's going to be that bad. Let me kind of get this laid out and planned out, and I'm going to maybe pop back in if I have a problem with something, or right before I turn it on, whichever comes first. So I tried something a little bit different here with the chips. I tried kind of making one tower feed all of the stuff and then using belts. I don't know if I really like this. I kind of prefer to do it the way I had it before, where things just went through towers and things of that nature. I don't know. Tell me what you think. If you like it, leave a comment down below how this is better. So to get the microcrystalline chips, I needed to bring silicon in, but I also needed to bring some copper in. So I was already bringing copper here, and I just brought in the high purity silicon. And yeah, I did that. It's all right. I mean, I just belted it out the back and up and in. It just definitely seems like a little bit of a lot of belts. It uses less drones and it has less power, but man, I wanted to darken the sky with all of my drones, not leave it so open where you can see stars. Like, what? Who wants to see stars in a beautiful red planet? Oh man, that is super picturesque, actually. Maybe I'd take that back. So then once those are created, microcrystallines just come around and go right in here to the golden chips. They just kind of come in here and go right into the drones. Now, we did move the drones more in the middle here, but I'm okay with that because it allowed me to bring all the items around and in here, where I don't really need a drone port for this. But we didn't allow any of them in here as of right now. And the reason is because we got to go destroy that other one, because it's so much fun to destroy this stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love building factories and factory logistics games, but when they make it like a piñata party, it is fantastic. It just is so gratifying watching this stuff fly into the air everywhere. Just like an explosion of fun. And just like that, we've made a mess again. So I did make it to where I could put all this stuff in those towers this time. I didn't allow them to take too much. So let me gather up all this stuff and we'll, you know, take it over there piece at a time. Yeah, that's not going to take forever, is it? And boom, just like that. The interstellar logistics drones, they're done. So, yeah, we already had quite a bit of them. So I don't want to kind of have a whole bunch, too many in storage, but you know, a few is not too bad. Now, the last thing that I'd like to do is go ahead and get the towers. And like I was saying, I think I just want to build them up here. I'm kind of feeling like here and here have two towers that are going to feed in all of the logistics stuff that we need. It shouldn't be too difficult to set this up. And I think I'm only going to go for like 5 of each and we'll put them in like so. I don't know. I'll probably play around with this a little bit just to see how I want this laid out. And done. I did have to move the tower as it just kind of didn't work out the way I wanted it to, being right over here. So, but that's okay. We definitely have some kind of signal that tells us that this is where it's at. Now, we had plenty of these towers in storage, and so I threw them in the box, and here we are. Now we've got all of these being recreated again. Now that we've moved over all this stuff and we've freed up a ton of space over there, we've got all of this space here, and honestly, I have a plan. I think I know what I want to put here. Planetary defense system. That's right. We're going to go ahead and get this again because for some reason I must have clicked off of it by accident and it stopped it. But to do that, we're also going to get a few other things that I think we need. I want to go ahead and grab the miniature particle collider because I believe it uses the hydrogen to make deuterium. And as we said before, we've got plenty of that stuff. The solar sails and the high strength, lightweight structures. And the reason we want those two things is because that's going to help us when we get to the next science, the green science. I don't think we'll get to that today, but we'll definitely try to get to it at some point. You might need those to build this or something along this line. I don't know. I was checking it out. I mean, we still have tons of stuff to research and we're not even close. I mean, the Proliferator Mark IIIs I haven't unlocked yet. Ugh, boy, I don't want to do that just yet. We've got enough proliferation going on in the background. So what do we need to make the planetary shield generator? Well, you know, some of the things that honestly we already have on our planetary logistics. One of those things is the particle containers, the supermagnetic rings, electromagnetic turbine, and solid steel. All of those things we already have. So I'm going to try something a little bit different. I made an odd blueprint and I'm thinking I'm okay with this odd blueprint. So I used one of the interstellar logistics and I'm going to use that instead of a regular logistics. And we'll just put the drones in here and it gets 100 of them so we can have everything that we want. So as we said, we just need the particle containers, some steel, green motors, and what was the other thing? Oh yes, the blue motors. And then we'll have them all come back in here and store them. We won't need them for remote supply or remote demand, but storing like, I don't know, 500 of them and requiring about 800 of each material, maybe 1,000. Yeah, maybe 1,500. I don't know. Let's go ahead and make it something worth our while. We'll put it up here around the 1,500 mark and see if we can't demand all of these things. So after watching this for quite some time, I'm realizing that our particle containers, man, we are not making enough of those. Everything else seems to be supplying fairly decently, but we need more particle containers. And I think if I'm not mistaken, the particle containers are a 3 item. Yes, 3 items. So we need a 3 item kind of, you know what? We'll just put them right here. I think that would be a good place for our particle containers. And then we'll just nuzzle this right next to each other, just like that. And we'll make ourselves some extra particle containers right here. Okay, with all the towers set up and all of our stuff being built, all we have to do is copy and paste all of the stuff across. So a quick little copy paste job for all of these, and we'll just have to let the items out of the belts as well. So I think we need 2 of them to be motors. The middle one can be the graphene, and I believe it needs 2 copper as well. So we'll put those around the outside. Then after that, we just do that 2 more times and we'll have tons of those particle containers. All the particle containers you could ever want. And there we go. All the planetary shield generators we could ever want. So let's take, I don't know, 50 or so of these, and let's go see how these things exactly work. I'm super curious. Now, I'm assuming that they have some kind of range, but I wonder if it shows us what the range is. So let me grab one and put it down like right here. We'll start right in that corner. I plan on putting them right on the equator as close to as I possibly can. A planetary shields guide. All right. Oh boy, that's a lot of reading. You know what? That's all right. TLDR. So what do we got going on here? So it has to charge up before it initiates. Then it becomes normal. And then there's a long scale for power buffer. Okay. But what's the range on it? Does it give me a range? Do I see the range from space? It doesn't really show me my range from space, but it does have a nice little thing here now. So we can total coverage show. It's not really doing anything. Not understanding how this works exactly. Is it getting power? Oh yes, it's getting, oh, there it is. Is that blue haze? Is that our shields? Oh boy. Okay. Oh my gosh. Our planet is growing a pimple. It appears that our planet is going through puberty. It's not a good thing. Yeah, it's about to be locked in the basement of his mother and playing video games the rest of their life. So it's initiated, which was probably the thing that gave us our first blue haze, but then we're not quite to normal yet. Man, it's getting huge. Look how far it sticks off of the edge of the planet. That is nuts. Actually, this is really cool. Oh, it's getting darker? Oh, it's like the Eye of Sauron, except for blue. All right, well, how far does this reach? I really want to see how far it goes before I decide whether or not or what I'm going to put the next one. It kind of really makes a big difference knowing how far to space these apart, as they do consume a lot of energy and as they kind of cost a lot to make. All right, so I've been waiting for quite some time to see if this gets any bigger, and honestly, it's not getting any bigger. Darker blue parts of it, not getting any bigger. So I've gotten a little impatient, and I went ahead and put in another tower over here just to see like how much they will connect. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on now. All right, so I got a little impatient. I didn't want to wait anymore, and I went ahead and put a bunch of them in. So definitely got one at the north and the south pole, and then I went around the equator and put those in. This one is powered by windmills. I'm hoping that I can get away with what I've got. It seems as though once they get to a certain charge rate, they just start creeping towards each other. You know, there may be 1 or 2 that I have to put in some places, but I'm not too worried about that. What I am worried about, though, is what's our power grid looking like? And yeah, the planetary shield eating up a lot. But if we increase our megawatts, I think that should increase its charging rate. So let me go throw down some more generators. There we go. That ought to help out with the gigawatt production. What are we up to now? Still up at, oh, still 2? Well, whatever. We're still producing a ton. That's all that matters to me. Wait, we got a whole set of them that are shut off? Oh, I guess I forgot to hook those up. No problem. You're hooked up, my friend. There we go. That'll start generating some more megawatts. So I was flying around and checking these things out, and I noticed that a couple of them are off. And I guess you have to have some kind of power tower right next to them to get them to charge. I would have thought that the power generating of this, as it carries power throughout my planet, I would have thought that would have worked, but I guess it doesn't. So we'll go ahead and just connect that as well somewhere else. That way it's getting a little bit maybe extra charge. It didn't seem to matter how many of those I had around it or what style I had around it. It charges all the same. So not a big deal. So I did the next set of these, and it kind of looks as though it's not going to fill out exactly. I put them on the quadrant lines, all 4 quadrant lines. So it looks as though you need 5 across the top there. So that's unfortunate because I was hoping that I could just kind of do 4, but it looks like I need to have 5 and space them out a little bit oddly. I don't know. That's kind of sucks. So I have to move these over just a little bit to make this actually work. Okay, so I've been sitting here waiting patiently for this to kind of charge up, and every one of them now is at normal, and it says that our total coverage is at 100%. So let's take a look at this. Oh, yeah. Let's see it take me out now, Mr. Dark Fog. Hello, Mr. Hive. What do you see? Ah, man, that is so cool. A completely blue marble. Well, very cool. I like this. This is wicked cool. So now we can leave our planet and we could go wherever we wanted to and probably not worry too much about it. Now, if I do get attacked, I do not have any defenses whatsoever. And that might be something that we tackle very soon, because even though we have our shield up, I really don't feel like our defenses are up where they should be. But if we do something like that, I really want to move the manufacturing of our weapons somewhere else. The reason is because, again, this was kind of post logistics towers, but now that we have blueprints all made up of things, we could really improve this. I just want missiles, lots and lots of missiles. Hypersonic missiles or super explosion, heat sinking, mega whatever missiles. We just want the missiles. I want to move the weapons factory again. I want to move it probably to a more centralized location. And I got a tip from someone in the comments that said that we can hide these veins if we don't really want to see them. And then we can build over them, which I didn't even know you could do that. I knew you could probably do it, but I could build over these. And then if you ever want them back, you just pop them back up. No problem. Easy peasy. So we'll probably be using that here and just building our entire new weapons factory here. So anyways, if you enjoyed what you watched today and you love to see planetary defense and maybe a little destruction in the next episode, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it does help the channel out. Hit the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime that there's any Dyson Sphere or any other content gets uploaded to the page. Click one of the buttons at the end of the screen to see what else we've been playing, and don't forget to keep gaming for the love of games. Bye now. If you look inside of an assembler, it shows you proliferation, proliferator. Say that 10 times fast.